Hello, and welcome to Strengthening Relationships with Families in the Context of COVID-19, reimagining our approach to compassionate and proactive communication. Today's session is hosted by the Ontario Centres for Learning, Research and Innovation in Long-Term Care, or the Ontario CLRI. My name is Daniel Galessiere.
And I'm Shoshana Helfenbaum. It's really wonderful to be with you.
The Ontario CLRI would like to thank the Government of Ontario for its generous financial support in the products that we produce. It's really great to have you all here with us. Thanks for joining us. Over the next 20 minutes or so, Shoshana and I want to share with you what have been important topics in the sector since the start of COVID-19, highlighting the latest needs and challenges in communicating with residents and families under stress, becoming aware of what tools and resources are available to support these challenges, and finally, how leadership can be empowered to support the entire process. So let's jump right in.
By asking families and stakeholders such as Family Councils Ontario about what communication challenges families are facing, we developed a clear picture of what families said they need most. In a moment, I'll share with you a word cloud that was created by members of family councils across the province who joined us for a webinar. But until then, please take a moment to reflect on how you might answer this question. What are the communication challenges facing families in the long-term care community? As you can see, families reported experiencing many kinds of distress because they were unable to be with their loved ones in person and they were unable to communicate in the ways they were used to. They described this as feeling less in touch and contributing to a sense of isolation, loss, uncertainty, and a heightened sense of their need for the long-term care teams to support them, to show empathy, understanding, and to communicate with them. One of the ways we responded to these family needs in CLRI was to share tools that were created especially to improve compassionate communication and shared decision-making among families, care team members, leadership, and residents. These tools are more important than ever today. During COVID, we also expanded them to help teams prepare for the unique challenges brought on by this pandemic.
Thanks, Shoshana. Long-term care homes look to continually build trusting relationships with residents and their families over time. And in turn, those residents and family members reciprocate that trust when they witness care that's offered by considerate staff, are welcomed by an environment that is safe, and are supported by communication that is collaborative and compassionate. With a likely second wave of COVID-19 imminent, it's most likely that family members will communicate predominantly by phone only rather than in person, making it all the more important to develop skilled communication to maintain healthy relationships. So, as Shoshana mentioned, as a result, the Ontario CLRI created an educational product to support this very need. The Family Huddle Tool. The Family Huddle Tool consists of 5 questions designed to create an objective, concise narrative for a family member to share with a care team member at the home, to give clear insight into what their need is, how it's affecting them, and what their specific request or ask is for the long-term care team to follow up with. The tool is designed to promote active listening, compassionate communication, reassurance, and clarity between the family member and the care team member receiving the call. Let's watch a video now of a telephone call between a resident's son and a care team member and observe how the 5 huddle tool questions were used.
Oh, finally. I'm so glad that someone has picked up.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
This is Paul. Paul Chow. My mother, Rita Chow, is in room 501.
How can I help you, Mr. Chow?
I am really concerned about my mother, so I prepared a summary for you to make sure I am clear and effective in sharing what I need from the team. It will take me 1 to 2 minutes to read it to you now. Can you please take down a few notes to share with the rest of the care team after this conversation? The situation is that lately I have not been able to get through on the phone, and I am worried my mother is not being given a lactose-free diet since the outbreak started, which would cause her pain. The background is that before the outbreak started, I visited her daily and personally checked that her diet was being followed. It worries me greatly that her diet may not be being followed. She is living with dementia, so she can't keep track of what she is eating for herself. The action by the team is that no one has answered the phone since yesterday, when I started calling on an hourly basis until now. I recommend that my mom's care team and I make a plan for how to connect regularly by phone. I request that someone on the care team finds out if she is following her lactose-free diet, and then calls me back to confirm.
Mr. Chow, this is really helpful. As you suggested, I took some notes to share with the team, and just to confirm my understanding, I'll read you what I wrote down. You're concerned that your mother's lactose-free diet is not being followed, which is worrying you. You would like to make a plan with your mother's care team to connect regularly by phone and have someone on the team call you to confirm she is following her lactose-free diet. Is this accurate?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for calling and sharing this information. A member of the team will get back to you as soon as possible.
As you just saw, Paul was able to clarify and communicate his needs in an objective and specific way. As well, the person receiving the call was able to clarify, appreciate, and value what Paul shared. This sets the stage for relationship building and for proactive and collaborative planning. Now, let me pass it back to Shoshana. She's going to share another product that the Ontario CLRI has.
Here's the second Ontario CLRI product we're featuring today. We're very, very pleased to share with you Team Essentials for Engaging Families in Distress e-learning course. This e-learning module and the Family Huddle tool are the first of their kind, as they are meant to fit together and train staff and leadership, as well as families and residents, in working together to each build on their sets of skills and communication. They help staff and families build on one another's strengths and address the specific requests by family, staff, and leadership to get better at offering compassionate communication in times of distress. The modules use experiential learning techniques to help staff safely and effectively rehearse what they might do with families in real-life situation. And some of the techniques that we use include mindfulness and emotional regulation, but all of them offer learners a chance to practice responding to simulated video scenarios through branching of situations that we heard were the most important and most realistic and would be the most helpful for people working in the sector today. Now we have the opportunity to let you see what using this e-learning to strengthen relationship with families would be like for yourself. Let's experience one of the activities from the training now and see how the scenarios engage learners and help them build confidence working with families in distress. Here are a couple of things to watch for. As we mentioned, in the scenarios you're going to see, there are a number of possible responses for the learner to use to advance from one step to the next. A really important part of this e-learning, which makes it quite different from all the other products around, is that we took the time to give very rich feedback for each response. So learners get to understand how their response was valuable and how it could be shaped to be even more valuable. but we're trying to help people be closer to the ideal of the skills and values we teach and give them lots of confidence. The last thing I'd like to mention is that just as we finished producing this e-learning, the pandemic began. So as a result, we included one final module involving a family in distress during an outbreak where families could not visit their loved ones. It was written to be applicable during outbreaks in general and other situations in which staff are stretched to their limit and when families and residents are forced to be isolated from one another.
So now we're about to start this scenario together. The learner will be able to type in their own name, but for our purposes, we will be the long-term care. This is long-term care team.
Oh, finally! Do you have any idea how long I've been trying to reach somebody? I've been calling since yesterday. What do you even do all day?
We'd then be able to click on the answers below. Clearly, the first one is just letting them know who you are.
It's Paul. Paul Chow, Rita Chow's son. It's been so frustrating. I've been calling and no one is picking up.
The activity is designed to bring out the training that was previously taught in the modules, building on the skills that it provides. Each answer in its own right could be given, but only one or a few of the answers are actually going to be the most beneficial based on the training. For example, if I were to say, yeah, we're really busy right now, we would get certain feedback.
But it's urgent.
You may not have time right now. However, it will help you and the son if you show kindness and concern to him at this time. Please try again.
It's Paul. Paul Chow, Rita Chow's son. It's been so frustrating. I've been calling and no one is picking up.
Let's try answer number 2. I can only imagine how frustrating this has been. We've been very busy because of the outbreak and we haven't always been able to answer the phone. How can I help you?
I need an update about my mother, Rita Chow, in room 501 right now. I'm calling to make sure her lactose-free diet is being followed or she'll be in a lot of pain. I usually remind the staff myself, but now that I can't come every day, I'm really worried. When I can't get anybody on the phone all day like this, I don't sleep at night. And this has been going on for a while.
So again, choosing various answers can give you different types of responses in the tree.
That's good to know, but I still need to talk to someone who is taking care of her, just to make sure she's okay and the plan is being followed.
So in the final step of learning how to clarify what the need is, we could respond with something like, Paul, I don't work directly with your mother, but I do want to help you. Would it be helpful if I told the staff taking care of her about your concerns? I can put a call into them and get back to you.
Yes, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
As you work through the scenario and the activity, and again, have the opportunity to put in the answers that seem right and that include the training from the modules, you can start to build your skill about how to appropriately and effectively and compassionately engage family members when they're calling over the phone. You know, having tools and educational programs is a good start to improving how we all live and learn in long-term care. But leadership involvement is the single most important key to making lasting change. Leadership can really enhance the staff experience, and by extension, that of families and residents, by encouraging, reinforcing, monitoring, and rewarding the performance changes the e-learning is intended to promote. Leadership can do this all the more so if they go about promoting these performance changes in a relational way that models the behaviors and the values that the performance changes are founded on. And the data reveals that training uptake is truly significantly improved from only about 15% to up to as high as 85% uptake when leadership involves themselves in this way. So when you choose education that aligns with key organizational goals, that clearly defines behavior changes that can be evidenced and evaluated, and has direct leadership support before, during, and after training. These are the pillars of effective training, uptake, and sustainability. So remember, when planning education for your staff, plan, define, and decide.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm really struck by the applicability of the idea of staff wellness to everyone, because if leadership takes, as we've seen, a relational approach to staff wellness that's appreciative, that values who they are, and helps staff learn to value and appreciate families and residents, everyone benefits, and it moves from staff wellness to leadership wellness to resident wellness and family wellness, and improved care experiences and outcomes for the whole team.
So there you have it. Communication tools, products, and approaches to support residents, families, staff, and leadership during these very challenging COVID-19 times and beyond.
We're really glad you joined us. Please visit our virtual booth to learn more about Ontario's CLRI products and services. We look forward to virtually seeing you there. Bye for now and be well.
Bye-bye.